What is up, fellas? We are back for another UFC predictions video, this time for UFC 311. Makhachev versus Tsarukyan 2. First pay-per-view of the year, guys. This is a sick card, stacked from top to bottom. I'm actually looking forward to this one, unlike last week's card. Maybe the last week's card was, like, okay, but this one's light years better. Before we jump in, subscribe. Why not? It's free. Don't be lame. All right, let's get right into it. Kicking us off at flyweight, Tagir Ulanbekov is taking on Clayton Carpenter. Kind of a tough matchup for Clayton Carpenter, if I'm being honest. Clayton Carpenter, 8-0, perfect record. Looked all right in the UFC in his most recent fight against Lucas Roja. There were some scary moments in that fight, but he persevered, got himself a submission win, and a pretty good performance. But I feel like Tagir Ulanbekov is just kind of a little bit too much too soon. Tagir Ulanbekov has been fighting in the UFC for quite a while. His only recent loss was to Tim Elliott. And Tim Elliott was cheating like a motherfucker. And since then, I mean, subbing Nate Maness in round 1 actually isn't so bad. Umar Nurmagomedov took this guy to a decision, you know. I'll get to him later. Cody Durden subbed him, good win. Got a split decision over Alen Nascimento, which is a good win. This guy's got experience against just really good fighters, dude. And he's pretty well-rounded, too. Pretty diverse in the striking. Really good submission game. I just think Clayton Carpenter's really going to struggle here in this matchup. And I can see him just kind of, at some point, he's just going to look lost against Tagir Ulanbekov, I fear. And I think he is submittable. I think Tagir Ulanbekov can submit Clayton Carpenter. I think the most likely outcome here is Tagir Ulanbekov is just a little bit better on the feet. A little bit better in the grappling. Probably wins a decision. But I could see a submission as well. I'm going to go with Tagir Ulanbekov here. I think he's probably just going to get a decision win over Clayton Carpenter, just being that level above right now. But Clayton Carpenter's pretty good, though, dude. I think he's pretty solid. Moving up to bantamweight, Ricky Turcios is taking on Bernardo Sopaj. Sopai, I've heard it pronounced both ways. I'm just going to call it Sopaj because it's easier to say. I'm going with Bernardo Sopaj here. I don't think much of Ricky Turcios. His UFC career has kind of been meh. Like, I just don't think he's that good, dude. Pretty big-sized guy for the division, but he's also very frail and weak at the same time. Like, he's got a good frame, but outside of that, he's scrambly. He scrambles well. He's very slimy in grappling exchanges. He's able to get up a lot of the times. He's got good volume, good cardio, but he doesn't really have any power. His striking's not very technical. His wrestling's kind of mid. And Bernardo Sopaj, on the other hand, this guy's got really nice boxing. He's got really good power in his hands. He's very technical on the feet. He's got good wrestling too, man. You know, in his debut on I believe it was short-ish notice, he took on Vinicius Oliveira, who's a very, very, very dangerous fighter in this division. This is a substantial step down from Vinicius Oliveira for sure. And he was able to control him for almost 2 full rounds of that fight. I mean, the entire first round, it was his round. Like, he beat Oliveira in that first round clear. It was beating him majority second round until Oliveira switched positions on him. And then it kind of fell apart because, once again, this kid took this on short notice. You know, a lot of people think about the knockout that he suffered, which, yeah, not great. But he's a young guy. And it's not like we have to worry about Ricky Turcios knocking us out. I hope not. Like, this guy was able to get down and control Oliveira, and Ricky Simon couldn't take down Oliveira. You know, I'm drawing conclusions, but I just think Sopaj is a much more technical, much more skilled fighter than a Ricky Turcios. And I think with the camp, I don't think he's going to get tired. I think he's going to beat the shit out of Ricky Turcios, honestly. I could see him knocking out Ricky Turcios because Turcios is a little bit chinny. And this fight was originally made a couple of months ago. I don't remember who pulled out. I think it was probably, was it? I think it was Turcios that pulled out. I don't know. I'm not super sure about that one. But I've also heard stories of Ricky Turcios getting chinned in training, which I don't like. I think Sopaj here can get a knockout over Ricky Turcios. I think he's just cleaner on the feet. I don't mind the 5-inch reach advantage that Ricky Turcios has all that much, just simply because Ricky Turcios doesn't really use that, and he's there to be hit. He kind of just keeps himself there to be punched in the face after he throws a strike. So I could see Sopash slipping a shot, working his way on the inside, and Ricky Torcios is still there, and he can crack him with a big shot, or he can out grapple him. I think he can out grapple him too. Moving up to the bantamweight division, Rinya Nakamura is taking on Muen Gafarov. I'm going with Rinya Nakamura here, but I don't like the betting line here of -600. I don't think Muen Gafarov is all that, but I don't know if Nakamura is -600 over him right now, at least. Like his last couple of performances haven't been the world's greatest to warrant this betting line. I do think he wins. He's a very good wrestler, very high level grappler for sure. He's got decent submissions as well. Nothing crazy. He's not like a Charles Oliveira, but he's got submissions in the bag. His striking is not that bad either. He's got nice kicks. He throws hard punches. I think he's just a lot more athletic than a Muen Gafarov. Muen Gafarov, he's mid. And his last fight against Kyung Ho Kang, I believe. Am I saying that right? I always say these fucking names wrong. Okay. Just fuck up everything, dude. I'm an absolute bot right now. Come back here, Muen Gafarov. Yeah, okay. I always fuck up his name. Against Kyung Ho Kang, he was giving pretty good positions to Kang. The only downside was Kang was getting hurt on the feet in like the last couple of seconds every now and then by Muen Gafarov, and that would swing the round. But Kyung Ho Kang was able to get Gafarov in pretty bad positions in the grappling. If Kyung Ho Kang can do that, I would bet my life that Rinya Nakamura can do that. Now, Muen Gafarov does have power, though. Maybe he could catch Nakamura with a big shot. I could see it happening. But I think more likely than not, I think Nakamura is just going to be able to positionally control Gafarov. I don't really see him finishing Gafarov. Gafarov's kind of a tough guy. I mean, Said Nurmagomedov submitted him. But outside of that, he's just kind of lost a decision. So I think I'm going to go with Rinya Nakamura here. I think he's going to get himself a decision, just being that step ahead in the wrestling over a Muen Gafarov. Moving up to women's bantamweight, Karol Rosa taking on Alen Perez. Alen Perez is all right, but I think she's going to be a little bit outclassed in this one. Karol Rosa, just a good, well-rounded fighter, honestly. She's got decent takedown defense. She's got a takedown of her own. I don't think she'll want to use it here. And she's light years better on the feet than an Alen Perez. This is by far the hardest fight Alen Perez has ever taken. Can she get the wrestling going and control Karol Rosa? It remains to be seen because I haven't seen her do it to a woman who can fight back. You know what I mean? Karol Rosa's a dog, too. Her fight against Irene Aldana was absolutely insane. No quitting the lady. I just think she's way better on the feet. I think she's got decent takedown defense. I think she's going to beat up on Alen Perez here in this matchup. I would be very impressed if Alen Perez gets this win. For sure. I think Karol Rosa is just going to tee off on her on the feet. I can see her winning a decision. I could also honestly see her getting like a kind of like a round 2-3 stoppage. Once Alen Perez kind of realizes, hey, this shit is not going my way and I keep getting hit in the face. I could kind of just see her crumpling, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'll be bold. I'll say Karol Rosa gets a TKO over Alen Perez at like rounds 2 or 3. Ooh. Oh, buddy. Closing out the early prelims, Grant Dawson is taking on Carlos Diego Ferreira. Guys, many moons ago, on the UFC St. Louis card, where Carlos Diego Ferreira took on Matus Rebecki, I had before that card ever took place, I was messaging my friend. I was like, dude, I want to pick Diego Ferreira. I want to bet a hog on Diego Ferreira. And he talked me out of it. He said, don't be stupid. He said, don't be stupid. And then Diego Ferreira beat the dog shit out of Matus Rebecki as like a plus 300 and something underdog. I'm not making the same mistake twice. I'm going with Diego Ferreira over Grant Dawson. I know he's 40. He is 40. But Grant Dawson, I think, is really good until he's not. He's really good until you get up off of your back. I'm just a dude. Like, hypothetically, if we were breaking down this matchup, if Grant Dawson were to fight like a Matus Rebecki, do you think Grant Dawson would be lined as a bigger favorite than this? No. Well, that's weird because Diego Ferreira beat the dog shit out of Matus Rebecki. Like, I think this line is just despicable. And this line is actually closed more since fight week has started. Like, he was like almost like a plus 275 like a few days ago. Like, people are actually getting money on Diego Ferreira now, which I think is smart, even though I think Grant Dawson's really good. It's just, I've seen Diego Ferreira. Granted, it was a few years ago. I've seen this guy scramble like a motherfucker, dude, against Gregor Gillespie, against Matus Gamrot, against Beneil Dariush. This guy can scramble well. He does not take bottom position. He gets up. And on the feet, Grant Dawson's chin cannot be trusted. If you're getting one punch KO'd in the first like 40 seconds by Bobby Green, Diego Ferreira is going to hit you so hard you're going to get shot out into the fucking nosebleeds. I think Grant Dawson can win this fight, but I just think this line is batshit insane, if I'm being honest. Like, I know you look at the 40-year-old man's record, you're like, oh, this isn't very good. Split decision to Dariush. A loss to Gregor Gillespie in a fight he was scrambling really well, really well. And Gregor Gillespie, I miss you. Matus Gamrot, he got TKO because I think he broke a rib. But he was scrambling really well in this fight. He was doing well against Gamrot, too. Then knocked out Michael Johnson brutally. Michael Johnson, despite having a kind of a very ugly record, he's light years better on the feet than a fucking Grant Dawson. And then Matus Rebecki is a fucking monster. Like, I think the level of, like, this is a fight I could talk about for like an hour. Who here, out of these five, Rafa Garcia, Joe Selecki, Bobby Green, Damir Ismagulov's an okay win, and Mark O. Madsen. Which out of those five makes this guy minus 300 over Diego Ferreira? The answer is none of them. This line is insane. Maybe Vegas knows something I don't. But I'm going to go with Diego Ferreira. I think he can catch Grant Dawson on the feet, and I think if he does catch Grant Dawson on the feet, I don't trust Dawson's durability at all. I think if Grant Dawson goes out there, starts grappling heavy, and Carlos Diego Ferreira hangs tough, and he's there in like round 2, and he's there in round 3, I can see Grant Dawson kind of being like, fuck, this isn't Joe Selecki. He's not a jiu-jitsu guy. He's not just sitting on bottom. Fuck. This sucks. And I can also see him losing a decision. But I could easily see him getting finished by Diego Ferreira. So that's what I'm going to pick. I'm going to be bold. A lot of underdogs won last week, so I'll pick a couple. I'm going to go with Diego Ferreira. I think he's going to chin Grant Dawson. If Grant Dawson was like lined minus like 150, then I'd probably pick him, honestly. But like this line is just despicable. Moving up to light heavyweight, Bogden Gusov is taking on Billy Elakana. This was originally supposed to be Bogden Gusov versus Johnny Walker, but now we have Billy Elakana. Guys, I don't really have a breakdown for this one. I'm going with Bogden Gusov. Billy Elakana just is not very good. And Bogden Gusov, I know he's only been in the UFC for a little bit, but this guy finishes everyone on the regional circuit. He knocks out everybody. I mean, this guy, like, his only recent loss is in his debut. His debut is Volkan Oezdemir, dude. Like, Billy Elakana has taken, like, absolute schmucks to, like, split decisions. Give me a fucking break. Bogdan Gusov chins that guy in one round. You know what I mean? I'm going with Bogdan Gusov, especially against Billy Elakana on short notice. I think he's going to chin him in, like, round 1. Unless something insane happens. Moving up to middleweight, Zachary Reese is taking on Asmat Bekhoev. I didn't really get to do very much tape on this one because this fight was made today. I know Asmat Bekhoev. I believe he was an LFA champion, if I am not mistaken. Yes, that is correct. LFA champ, huh? I don't have a take this pick with a grain of salt because I really don't. I didn't really have the time. Um, 5 round split decision to Dylan Budka. Yeah, I've seen enough. I'm going with Zachary Reese. Suck my balls. Um, Dylan Budka is fucking awful. But then again, this guy's Russian, you know. This is a fucking horrible look. Decent win. Uh Dude, I don't fucking know. He beat fucking Salami. Okay. Wait, what the? Am I seeing that right? 155? Dude, I don't fucking know. Um, you know what? I I'll go with Zachary Reese. I think he's more athletic than this guy. I don't fucking know, dude. Uh, this guy took Dylan Bucka to a split decision. And Zachary Reese has a giant frame advantage. I don't know. I don't fucking know, dude. Moving up to heavyweight, a fight I do know about. Jailton Almeida is taking on Sergey Spivak. Minus 500, huh? Uh, I think I'm going to go with Jailton Almeida here. Sergey Spivak is good, though. He's quite well-rounded. Good wrestling. Decent submission game. On the feet, honestly, I wanted to point this out. I was almost going to use this as a point to maybe be like, hey, Sergey Spivak could win this fight. I think in his last fight against Tybura, I think you didn't really get to see very much of it, but I think his boxing actually looked really sharp. It's just a memory I have of being like, oh, Spivak looks good on the feet. But then again, I was like, yeah, but that doesn't really fucking matter. I mean, Jailton Almeida has faced like better guys on the feet than Sergey Spivak. Like, I know he lost to Curtis Blades, but that first round, genuinely, Curtis Blades could do nothing. There was nothing he could do for the entire 5 minutes. I think he got taken out like 10 or 11 times. I just think if you're not like top 5 heavyweight, I don't think you beat Jailton Almeida. I think he just takes you down, and I think that's it. Because a lot of these guys are kind of like fat. So once a fat guy is on the bottom and he gets a fucking 240-pound steroid mutant freak on top of him, that's just pretty much curtains. I don't know if Jailton Almeida finishes Spivak. I think Spivak is. I think Almeida approaches this fight similar to the Romanov fight, but I think Spivak is a level, like a tier above a Romanov. Um, as far as like grappling defense and a willingness to just get his fat ass off the fucking ground. So I think Jailton Almeida will win this fight. I think it'll be a decision though. I don't know if he goes out there and blows up Spivak really fast, that would actually be very impressive. Because Spivak, I think, is decent. I mean, he's top 10. He's good. But I'm going to go with Jailton Almeida. I don't see Almeida getting caught on the feet by Spivak. Could happen. Like I said, Spivak's stand-up in that Tybura fight looked pretty good, honestly, I thought. But then again, you didn't get to see it over a singular round. You saw it for like 2 minutes. And then maybe he could catch Almeida in a submission, though, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Yeah, I'm going to go with Almeida decision here. I think that's the most likely outcome. Although I do think Spivak is better than plus 350. Closing out our prelims at bantamweight, Peyton Talbot is taking on the great Hoy Barcelos. Guys, I'm going with Peyton Talbot. He's minus 1,500. I don't think he should be minus 1,500, but I think he'll win this fight. Dude just got aura, Dude just kind of got that swag. I don't know. I mean, his fight against Cameron Simon, he looked insane. His last fight, not a lot to talk about. Got a knockout in like 11 seconds. Hoy Barcelos, 37. I don't trust the chin. And man, Peyton Talbot just seems good on the feet, bro. Maybe Barcelos can try and get the grappling going, get the submission game going. But I think on the feet, man, he's just going to get beat up. Like, he's looked stiff in his last couple of fights. Okay. Christian Quinones is fucking terrible. Taking him to the 3rd round, I don't love. Losing to Kyler Phillips now, kind of embarrassing. He got knocked out by Umar Nurmagomedov. But, like, I'm going to be honest, it's kind of a fluke knockout. And getting KO'd flatline by Umar isn't the best look. Losing a decision to Victor Henry, I don't love. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with Peyton Talbot. I think he's going to find shots on the feet. It might be hard. There might be moments where Talbot, you're like, oh my God, Barcelos is going to do it. He's going to fraud check him. But I just think if they both land, I've seen Talbot eat some fucking heavy shots. If they trade shots, I don't think Barcelos eats it. I just think he goes down. I think he'll get hurt. And Talbot's got the frame advantage too. I'm going to go with Peyton Talbot. I think he's going to find a shot on the feet and hurt Barcelos. I think it's going to go a little longer. I think it might go like round 2, round 3. I'm going to say Peyton Talbot gets a TKO like round 2, round 3 over Howie Barcelos. Moving up to middleweight, Kevin Holland is taking on Reinier de Ridder. Dude, Reinier de Ridder's a slight favorite now. I was going to pick him as an underdog, and now he's a slight favorite. What a fucked up day. I'm going with Reinier de Ridder. If you followed this channel, if you're a long-time subscriber, you know I don't trust Kevin Holland even a little bit. He's just not a serious fighter, just straight up. Especially at middleweight. Can Kevin Holland win this fight? Yes, easily. He can land the better shots on the feet. He can hurt Reinier de Ridder. He can knock him out. I just think Reinier de Ridder is a guy who's taken himself a little bit more seriously, though. You know what I mean? He's a real middleweight. He's going to be a lot bigger than Holland in that cage, for sure. And we've seen Kevin Holland at middleweight. When he gets taken down by guys, he just doesn't get back up. And against Reinier de Ridder, like, this isn't Marvin Vettori. This isn't Derek Brunson. This guy will submit you. He will finish you if you give him a good position. You know, he's sub GM3. Now, I picked him to sub GM3. Okay, sorry about that. Got interrupted there for a second. I'm going with Reinier de Ridder. Okay? I think in a 3-round fight, I think he can find one position to where he can finish Kevin Holland. I know Kevin Holland has good jiu-jitsu. He's not Reinier de Ridder, though. I don't think. This could age bad. Kevin Holland will just darce him. Will just finish him with a submission somehow. But I just think on the feet, yes, Kevin Holland can win this fight easily. I think he can land good shots on the feet and hurt Reinier de Ridder. But I just can't trust him. I just don't trust him at all. I'm going with Reinier de Ridder. I like his grappling game. He's got a good takedown, too. He's got elite submission skills. On the feet, not the best. Almost flatline KO GM3, though. Bruno Silva couldn't do that. But Bruno Silva sucks. So I'm going to go with Reinier de Ridder. I think he can get a submission win over Kevin Holland. Especially at middleweight. I just think Kevin Holland's going to be outsized big time. This is truly a 50-50 fight, though. It would not surprise me at all if Kevin Holland goes out there, lands a big shot, hurts Reinier de Ridder, and wins. But like I said, I don't trust him at all. Moving up to lightweight, Beneil Dariush taking on Renato Money Moicano. This is a fight I've kind of deliberated on a little bit, going back and forth, but I'm going with Renato Moicano. I was thinking about picking Beneil Dariush as an underdog for a little bit, just because, you know, he scrambles really well. He's got good grappling. He's got good submissions. He's got good power in his hands. But when you really break it down, I don't like the injuries. I don't like the inactivity of Dariush. I don't like being knocked out twice in his last 2 fights and taking a year layoff. And Renato Moicano, there's something to be said about the confidence this guy must have right now, because he has been running through everybody. Like, just the last year, Drew Dober turns around in like 3 months, fights Jalen Turner, finishes him. And then gets a main event in France against Benoit Saint-Denis and finishes him. And his only loss recently, well, kind of recently, it's to a 5-rounder to RDA in 2022 that he took on a week's notice. You know, it's just... And when I break down this fight, if the grappling is somewhat neutral, it's like, who's better on the feet? Both of these guys are wildly chinny. Both of these guys have, like, are chinny. But when Moicano gets hit with a big shot, he falls down. But he kind of gets up. He's kind of still with it. He can be knocked down easy, though. But Beneil Dariush, when he gets hit with a big shot, he fucking dies. And in their stand-up, Beneil Dariush is just very plodding and slow a lot of the time. He has good hooks. He has good power. But Moicano's got that nice Thai style. He throws straight punches, and he throws them faster than Dariush. I think I'm going to go with Moicano here. I think he can actually... I think he'll win a decision over Beneil Dariush. I think Dariush might have some ring rust early. I think he might look a little bit washed early. I think Moicano's going to kind of I think Moicano's going to get him like the first couple of rounds. Maybe Beneil Dariush has like a moment where he catches Moicano with like a big overhand in like the second or third, and they're like, oh my God, Dariush is going to do it, but Moicano's tough. He fights through it. I think this will be a good fight, but I think Moicano will win this fight. I think he'll win it like a 29-28 decision here over Beneil Dariush. Oh, buddy. Moving up to light heavyweight, Yuri Prochazka taking on Jamal Hill. This is such a good fight, but I have to do something. Guys, I have to do something. You're going to have to forgive me. Okay? I think I'm going to go with Jamal Hill over Yuri Prochazka. I just don't know if the durability is still there. I don't know if Jamal Hill lands like a straight left or a hook on Yuri Prochazka, if he's going to be there. You know what I mean? Because, like, he has taken so much damage in these last 5 fights. Look at these last 5 fights. You cannot find me a moment in these 5 fights where Yuri Prochazka is, like, not getting hit in the face. Like, you know what I mean? He almost got KO'd by Reyes. He almost got KO'd by Glover. He did get KO'd by Ferreira. He ate some bombs from Rakic, and then he got KO'd by Ferreira again. It's just, I don't know if those 5 wars, I don't know if the durability is still there. And Jamal Hill is very accurate with his boxing. And he's very good at range management as well. And then again, Yuri Prochazka doesn't have to worry about the low kicks so much from Jamal Hill. And Jamal Hill, who's to say his durability is all that good after getting one punch KO by Pereira? I don't know, dude. This is such a hard one to call. My heart wants Yuri to win, but my brain says Jamal Hill will catch him retarding into range and hurt him really bad. I'm going to go with Jamal Hill. I'm not happy about it. I kind of like Jamal Hill too, but I just really, really, really like Yuri Prochazka. And I would really like him to win this fight. But I think it's a tough matchup for him, dude. I just think Hill's too accurate. He's fat. He's got fast hands. Yuri Prochazka leaves his hands down at his side a lot. I just worry now, after all of the damage he's taken over the last like year or two, can he eat these shots still? Like if it was like the Yuri coming off of like the Glover win, that's different. You know, because at that point he was eating all these shots, but he was hanging there. He was there still. But now he's been knocked out twice. You know. I don't know. It's just I'm unsure. But yeah, Jamal Hill, I think he can catch Yuri Prochazka. I think he'll get him out of there in like round 2. Moving up to bantamweight, Merab Dvalishvili is taking on Umar Nurmagomedov. Another pick I don't like making. I don't like Umar. I think Umar is probably the most privileged fighter we've ever seen in the UFC. I'm going to go on a slight rant here. This guy has one ranked win in a close fight against Corey Sandhagen. I know people are like, oh, he dominated Sandhagen. He dominated Sandhagen, dude. Like, most of these rounds were decided by like 2 extra significant tapping strikes, if we're being real. And then I'm in the great Nate Maness to a decision. 40-year-old Hoy Barcelos, a guy making his debut, who knocked him down with 1 out of his 3 significant strikes landed that fight. Brian Kelleher. Wow, what a lineup. Does that make him minus fucking 350 over Merab Dvalishvili? Look at this guy's resume. This guy is plus 250. Because this guy's last name is Nurmagomedov. That's crazy. And you know what's fucked up? I'm picking Nurmagomedov to win. I just think if Merab doesn't have a grappling advantage, I don't think he wins the fight. And I don't think he has a grappling advantage. I think both of their grappling is probably going to cancel each other out. I think probably a better pure takedown is honestly coming from Umar. Seriously. And if Merab can't push you up against the cage and knee in the thigh, how does he win? Like, his stand-up's okay, Merab. But Umar is a lot better. He's very patient. He's got a nice kick game. He's got decent hands. And I think he's got the grappling to just kind of negate Merab's best weapon, which is his grappling. I bet my life this shit goes to a decision. And also another thing, if this goes the distance and it's a close fight, who are they giving a decision to? Are they giving it to Merab or Khabib's cousin? Let's be honest. I'm going with fucking Umar. I think he negates Merab's grappling. I think he can land good kicks on the feet, good kicks to the body on Merab. And I think without that takedown threat looming so much, I don't know how Merab is going to perform here. I think he might struggle. This might be the first time we really see kind of Merab like, what the fuck do I do now? But we'll see. You know, maybe Umar is the world's biggest fraud. I would honestly, I want Merab to win. I would like Merab to win. I just have the feeling Umar is going to win just because he's got plot armor. He's the protagonist, I guess, of the bantamweight division. The way they're treating this guy. Because if Merab beats Umar, honestly, you make a case for this guy being like the bantamweight GOAT. Straight up. Like, if he beats Umar, is this not like bantamweight GOAT level resume? Like, this is crazy. It would have Umar, O'Malley, Cejudo, Yan, Aldo, Moraes. He has Dawson on there as well. He's like, what the fuck? This guy's resume is insane. But yeah, I'm going with Umar Nurmagomedov. Probably going to get a decision. I think this fight, I can see this fight being kind of dull, where a couple of these rounds are kind of decided by just a couple of extra strikes. But then I say that, and Merab's going to be the one throwing a couple of extra strikes. But is he going to land them? Probably not. Umar's a hard guy to land on. So I'm gonna go with Umar decision. And then closing out the card with our main event, Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Tsarukyan. Banger. For what I said about Umar, I don't like Umar, but I do like Islam. Because Islam is a dog. And he's fought like every single guy in the fucking division. So I like Islam. And his style's fun. Arman's really good, though. I think this needs to be mentioned. Arman is like really elite at like everything. He's got good striking. He's got great wrestling. He's got good ground and pound specifically. He's very strong. He's very athletic, very flexible. He's good. He's really, really good. Him being plus 300, I think is value. Do I think he beats Islam Makhachev? Could do. Could do. I've kind of had a feeling that Arman could get this one done. But then I kind of think about it, and I'm like, when you really think about how he wins, how does he do it? Like, I don't think he submits Makhachev. I really don't think he knocks him out on the feet. I think this is going to be a close, grimy fight for like all 5 rounds. And it's like, do I think Arman gets a decision? I don't know. I think Makhachev's just got too much experience at this point fighting for the belt. I just think he's been through those really hard fights now, like against Volkanovski the first time and against Dustin Poirier in his most recent fight. I just don't think he's going to let a decision get away from him, like Arman might. Like maybe Arman starts out hot, but Makhachev finds his way back into it. I just think Makhachev is just like, if Arman's right here, I think Islam's just kind of like right here. You know what I mean? Like, I think this could be a really close competitive fight, but I think Makhachev's just going to edge him out a little bit. I think Makhachev's better on the feet. He's got some nice boxing. He showed that against Poirier. He's got some nice elbows, got some nice knees. Makhachev's just so well-rounded. He's got good wrestling. Um, he actually does have a good submission game, you know? Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Islam Makhachev. I just think he's a little bit better than Arman. I think Arman's got a good shot to win here, and I do see value on him at plus 300. Like, he's one of the best contenders you could bet money on to beat Islam Makhachev because he's so well-rounded. But if they fight 10 times, I think Islam wins. I could see like 60-40, maybe 70-30. Makhachev. So yeah, I'm going to go with Islam. I think he's going to win a decision here over Arman Tsarukyan. And a pretty fun fight. I think this fight's going to rock because I think both of their grapplings are going to kind of cancel each other out. And they're just going to go fucking crazy on the feet. Which I'm all in for. But yeah, that's it for UFC 311, fellas. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it a ton. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.